regular meeting of the Gibson County Legislative Body will please come to order. Good morning, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call Commissioner Keith Steele to lead some prayer, please. Stand
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the men and women elected to serve the people of Gibson County. Thank you for those that are here to participate in our local government. Be with all of our workers as they serve the people of Gibson County. Be with everybody in this county. Help us to see things in our heart, to keep good discourse between ourselves. Be it the United States of America, lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've got a very busy docket this morning. We've got a lot of business to take care of. A lot of folks here wishing to speak this morning, which is a good thing. And Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, we'll get it underway.
Commissioner Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Eckert.
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham.
Here.
Commissioner Sykes.
Here.
Commissioner Longmire.
Here.
Commissioner Carr.
Here.
Commissioner Mackey.
Here.
Commissioner Bidden. Commissioner Tubbs.
Here.
Commissioner Martin. Commissioner Cameron.
Here.
Commissioner Summers.
Here.
Commissioner Lawson.
Here.
Commissioner Nance. Commissioner Locke.
Here.
Commissioner Carter.
Here.
Commissioner Flake. Commissioner Wall.
Here.
Commissioner McEwen.
Here.
Commissioner Littleton.
Here.
Commissioner Pella.
Here.
Commissioner Steele.
Here.
Commissioner Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Childers.
Here.
Commissioner Moss.
Here.
21 present, 4 absent. We do have 4. We all received minutes from our previous session. Do I hear a motion to approve these minutes as presented? Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Longmire. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Also in their package, we received a copy of the reports. I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with reading of the reports. Motion made by Commissioner Moss, seconded by Commissioner Summers. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. We have guests here today. First on the agenda, we have Mr. Ken Fisher here representing Milan Mustard Seed. Mr. Fisher, would you like to come forward and speak, please?
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I want to thank you for your gift to the mustard seed last year. Last year, about this time I came and we were expanding and adding a soup kitchen. I'm glad to say that that's in operation. It's been in operation since the 1st of February. We have fed over 800 people in the first month. For those who felt like maybe there's not a need for one, we felt there was. I know you have a tough budget. You have a time when people want more services and they don't want taxes. And my prayers are with you to make just and fair decisions. I would like to tell you, at the time in which we were building the soup kitchen, a lot of our board members were fearful that we would not be able to continue doing the services that we provide to the community. I'm going to just read these quickly, and I'll give it to someone for the record. But during the year, our fiscal year ends in November, we assisted 847 families with utility and rent totaling $119,000. From our food pantry, we fed 2,507 families 176,000 pounds of food. That's 3,500 pounds of food a week that are going to citizens from Milan, Medina, Gibson, areas close to Milan. But generally, in the whole community, we do the utilities for Humboldt also. We assisted 235 families with furniture. These are people who had fires or due to troubles in the family, separation, that we assisted them for recouping and making another home. Thousands of low-income people shop at our store. Thanks to all of the people in Milan, Gibson County, and the whole community of Gibson County for this. I would like to ask for your consideration. I'm not going to put a dollar amount on this time. Last year you gave us $5,000. We have a little bit left to pay for this soup kitchen. We've had some generous donations. The city of Milan gave us $25,000. But we had a lot of donations from literally hundreds of people throughout the whole West Tennessee community. I appreciate any consideration, any questions anyone has. I want to thank Bobby Cottom for inviting me, and thank you for this time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. We appreciate your hard work. And thank you, Mr. Fisher. We appreciate everything the Milan Mustard Seed does for our community. At this time, I'd like to call on Ms. Deborah Seward with the UT Extension Agency. Ms. Deborah here.
Yes, I am, but Barbara Berry will come before you.
Well, we had a little confusion about that. This one on the agenda. Thank you, Ms. Berry.
Good morning. First of all, I want to thank you all for carving out a time slot for extension so that we can highlight some of the programs and services that we provide for the community. March is Extension Month, and in celebration of Extension Month, we are hosting an open house today, and we are inviting each and every one of you to the event. We have sausage and biscuits in the back. We're going to have cake and punch later on during the day, and we want all of you all to attend, come out and visit with us, get to know us, and learn more about our program. Right now, I want to introduce the staff to you. Most of you already know us. Philip Shelby. Philip, if you will stand. Philip is the adult ag extension agent, works with our farmers. Deborah Seward and Caitlin Barker. They work with the youth in our forage program. We have Joetta White. Is Joetta here? Joetta is housed in our office, and she works with agribility. Also, Danny Morris, he's one of our newly hired
Area Farm Area Specialist.
He's the farm area specialist. And I don't think Danny's in here either this morning. And we have Carolyn Rayner. Carolyn Rayner works with our 10-step nutrition program. She's a program assistant for the county. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Extension has a rich history of working with the families in the rural communities, but now our role continues to expand as we try to meet the needs of a more urban audience. And we are so proud of the reputation that we have of implementing programs that help the residents of this county with real life solutions. And we have a video here, a short video clip that I want you to view that highlights some of our programs and the impact that it has on the residents of this county.
In the days before spring, Keith Steele works around his shop and does a lot of planning before he can get in his fields. The Steeles will grow a lot of crops on their Gibson County land. 3 decades ago, they farmed 400 acres. Today, it's more than 10 times that number.
We had to expand to keep up, and then the cost of living and just the cost of operation. And then well, I've got children, one son in particular that wants to farm, and another that may want to.
Something will go wrong with wheels.
Tennessee produces about 5 million acres of row crops every year, a number that's remained pretty consistent. But it's being farmed by fewer and fewer producers. And just about every major Tennessee row crop operation has increased significantly in size.
In the last 10 years, we've seen farms that would, in the past, would have been 2,000 to 3,000 acres in West Tennessee now be 7,000 to 8,000 acres in size.
In years past, farmers almost exclusively grew crop fields that had been in their families for generations. But now a trend is to rent fields to boost acreage.
I think all this was born out of necessity.
Gibson County UT Extension Director Philip Shelby says row crop agriculture is on a scale now. And if producers don't increase in size, the economy won't allow a farmer to keep farming.
The margins, the expenses kept going up, prices remaining the same. They had to get large in order to remain in business.
There's a positive side to this. Technology and equipment make it possible for farmers to grow mega crops these days. And as spring approaches and seed goes into the ground, know that individual farmers will be working a lot of land. This is Chuck Denny reporting. Slicing and dicing our way to nutrition, Santa's elves are busy here preparing that classic holiday treat, chicken and broccoli casserole. Well, that may be a stretch, but it's what's on the menu today at the Gibson County UT Extension office.
It's simple, it's easy, it's economical, and it can feed a family of 4 to 6 for less than $10.
Family and Consumer Sciences agent Barbara Berry teaches Cooking Matters. The program includes 6 weeks of hands-on cooking lessons and also information about smart food shopping. By the way, in addition to the additional holiday treats nearby. Cooking Matters includes lessons about modifying recipes, especially this time of year.
I know the holidays are filled with lots of desserts. I love cakes and pies, but when it comes to making that favorite cake and icing and frosting on the cake, use half of the amount of icing that the recipe requires.
Cooking Matters included a challenging assignment. People had to go to a grocery store and shop for a family of 4, buying something from each of the 5 food groups. Their budget? Just $10. But the class proved it's possible. Easter White has prepared a few meals in her time, but even this veteran in the kitchen says she learned something from the $10 challenge.
I had no idea that it could be done, but when we got to the cash register, we had everything that was on the plate, and I think it was just $9 and something. We had almost $1 left.
Saving money appeals to all of us, and cooking at home is almost always more economical than eating out. The holidays are also a time to use common sense about overeating, another topic taught in the program.
And one of the things they can work on, especially during the holidays, is reading that recipe and making sure they stick within the portion size. If we would all learn to eat according to portion size, we'd all save money, that's for sure. And lose a few pounds, that's right.
A great meal helps to make the season bright and can be purchased and prepared without breaking the family budget. Yes, cooking most definitely does matter during the holidays and all year round.
But now that I took this class, I'm ready for the holiday. Bring it on.
This is Charles Denny reporting.
You're going to take a bigger screwdriver and you're going to flip your can over.
Who needs a fancy store-bought lamp when you can make one yourself? All you need are some wires, an aluminum can, and the right gadgets. That's the task for these kids in Alamo, a 4-H meeting where adult agents and older kids like Will Futrell help the younger ones.
It's the best thing I could ever ask for, and I want to help them experience the same thing that I have, to have that good, positive life, become a leader, be a citizen, just everything that's good. I want to just give that to them.
These kids from Crockett and Gibson counties are in a 4-H mentoring program called TRY, which stands for Teens Reaching Youth. Building a lamp by hand demonstrates how electricity works, but also how society works.
In my opinion, a mentor is somebody who is providing a good example.
UT Extension Agent Tanya Bain wants her 4-Hers to interact with a positive role model.
Yes, I think probably the most important thing that we try to teach is consistency. A lot of times people or kids will have adults or friends that come in and out of their life, but they don't really stick around long enough always to be a mentor.
The teens in this program are trained to help younger kids. It's a learn by example thing. To become a good mentor, it helps if someone was first a good mentor to you.
As a result of participating in the mentoring program, I hope the children will learn improved self-esteem first, leadership, responsibility, trustworthiness. I want them to be able to not bully others.
4-H leaders use these exercises to create bonds between the kids. And perhaps the most important lesson here, you can be a mentor to someone else no matter your age.
Like my little brother and my little cousin, I have to help them with their homework every day at home. And I feel like I'm smart.
By the end of the class, we've got a lot of homemade lamps, but something else was built here too. When the light comes on, there's a feeling that everyone involved here is important and influential. This is Chuck Denny reporting. It's an assembly line of caring. Hand to hand, good nutrition is prepared for delivery. But many of these volunteers are more accustomed to growing food rather than packaging it. It's an effort called Farmers versus Hunger, held at UT's recent Milan No-Till Field Day at the Gibson County Ag Research Center. Candy Vi grows 1,000 acres of crops, but took time out of her busy schedule to do this.
We thought it was important to help out and try.
The farmers are packaging macaroni and cheese meals, supplemented with vitamins and a special soy protein. Each package, bound for an area food bank, costs just $1.50, but will feed an adult 4 meals and a child 6 meals.
An opportunity for us to provide a small part of crop production to these families. And it's great to see these volunteers come out here.
In Tennessee, 18% of the population is categorized as food insecure. That's a USDA guideline. It means a family can't afford the proper nutrition needed for an active lifestyle.
Food insecurity is a big issue, not just in urban areas like Memphis or Jackson, it's also in the rural areas.
Danny Hauer helped organize Farmers versus Hunger with a lot of help from the Tennessee Soybean Promotion Council, who donated supplies. We raise 1.3 million acres of soybeans in our state, and organizers of this event say the crop is a logical source of nutritious and affordable food.
It's sort of a full circle kind of deal because we have a lot of soybean farmers in the state. It's our #1 row crop, and they're taking the soy protein enriched macaroni and cheese meal and then packaging it into a form that needy people in our area can use.
By day's end, the farmers and volunteers packaged more than 17,000 meals, topping their goal. When you don't have food, you have fear, and this effort will have an impact. And it's good to know the people who grow our food care enough to make sure someone has something to eat today. This is Chuck Denny reporting.
Those are just some of the programs that we offer here at UT Extension. We want you to know that we are here for you to serve. We serve the community. We can be reached by phone call, email. You can text us, Facebook, or Instagram. We're here to serve the needs of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've got a proclamation here I've been asked to read, if I can see it. Whereas the University of Tennessee and Tennessee State University are Tennessee's land-grant universities and have a 3-part mission of teaching, research, and extension, And whereas Extension is the outreach arm of the universities and an integral part of the land grant mission, extending the knowledge and expertise of the universities to the people of Tennessee through education delivered by agents, specialists, and volunteers in all 95 counties of the state. And whereas Extension is a valuable resource for helping citizens to solve problems, providing real-life solutions in the places they live, work, and play through hundreds of programs. And whereas Extension's efforts are based on local needs, research, and a commitment to improve the quality of life. And whereas Extension's educational programs in 4-H youth development, agriculture, natural resources, family and consumer sciences, and community economic development produce substantial returns to the state. And whereas using research, questionnaires, observations, and sales records, and economic impact was estimated at more than $493 million from July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014 for statewide educational programs. And whereas a recent assessment indicates that for every $1 in public funds invested in extension programs returns an estimated $8.13 to the people of Tennessee. Now therefore, I, Thomas Witherspoon, Mayor of Gibson County, do hereby proclaim March as UT-TSU Extension Month and encourage all citizens of Gibson County to participate in Extension's educational programs and to learn how Extension benefits them. Thank you. Thank y'all. We appreciate all of our Extension workers' hard work and efforts in our communities. Next on the agenda, we have the White Brothers Road project to discuss. Floyd, do you think it might be beneficial to us? Would you like to offer a little overview, maybe? Would you be the one to kind of get us caught up as to where we are on this?
Let me ask you this. What do you want to do? Is that next after that? I didn't have the, okay, all right. Okay, yes, we have a situation out on White Brothers Road where there's a small part. Tom, it's how much?
2/10 of a mile.
2/10 of a mile where we have pavement or tar and chip, gravel, tar and chip. And the efforts have been undertaken to work with the property owner who has not signed the right-of-way. She actually owns property on both sides, and that was unsuccessful. And so the highway board has met and has decided, and Carl is here somewhere, that due to the public safety of going 55 miles an hour on tar and chip, hitting gravel, that's not a safe situation, and so they have voted to move forward with the efforts to tar and chip it. And that would involve us taking legal action to do that, and we have that power under the state law, and the highway board voted that they would do that. But due to the fact that we've not done this much in the history of the county, they felt like that it needed to come before you all to make that decision as to whether to concur with their recommendation to actually do that. I see Joe's in the back, the family that is here too, so that's the situation. The highway board voted to do it, but they don't want to do it without your concurrence. From a lawyer standpoint, I believe we have the legal right to do that, and it's a matter of whether the commission wants to do it.
And with that said, there's a group of citizens here who wish to see that paving project take place, and I believe Mr. Greg Bowling is going to speak on their behalf. Is that correct? So this time I'd like to call him forward.
I want to kind of, I guess, repeat some of what he said. Thank you for having me. My name is Greg Bowling. I live at 139 White Brothers Road. It's a road that connects Lipmadden Road to the town of Gibson. Myself, along with other residents and non-residents of White Brothers Road, travel this road daily, multiple times a day. In the middle of this road, there's a section of gravel approximately 500 yards in length. We've spoken with our road commissioner, Mark McGill. He's told us he's had numerous calls from people inquiring why this section of White Brothers Road remains unpaved. He's also provided me with the minimum acceptance standards for non-subdivision county roads. And as far as the measurements concerned with this road, nothing would be changed. It is currently within the county's parameters. We attended the road commissioners meeting back in early January of this year. They were unable to come up with a solution due to a property owner not signing a right-of-way agreement. We're here today to further pursue this matter and would like to ask maybe in this instance the right-of-way restrictions be overlooked so that 500 yards of gravel can be tar and chipped. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tubbs, I see you here. Would you like to come up? Mr. Tubbs is the son of landowner being affected by this measure.
Mayor, you asked me to turn the air conditioner off. It's hard here, and I don't think anybody here is real hot. I'm not. I tell you, sitting here with coat on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all allowing me to speak.
Hold on a second. Just turn the air conditioner off.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all allowing me to speak. I just learned something new this morning because from my understanding, the last Highway Commission meeting, I wasn't able to attend because I had to be in court in Dyersburg. My understanding was at that meeting that the Highway Commission had declined, but apparently that position has been changed. From my understanding, the precedence of Gibson County has always been that if the landowners did not consent, that the county respected those wishes. I think that's beneficial not only for the county because it saved the county money, but it also kept good relations between the landowners and the county commission or highway commission. Essentially, this strip of gravel, there's three reasons that the family doesn't want it tarred and chipped. One is the increase in tax. From my understanding in dealing with appraisals, anytime you have real property that is on gravel road versus blacktop road, the appraisal value is there. Obviously, if the value of the property increases, the taxes are going to increase. The percentage of the tax may not, but the taxes will. Secondly, as I think was mentioned, this road is not labeled as far as a speed limit, and from my understanding, any road in the state, county, or otherwise that's not labeled for a speed limit isn't 55 but 30. People fly down this road if it wasn't for that gravel. The gravel acts sort of like a speed bump in a parking lot. It causes people to slow down. Third, for whatever reason, whenever I was younger, we looked for gravel roads. That's where we wanted to go ride, but people nowadays don't. Maybe they've got better vehicles, whatever the situation may be. But it keeps the amount of traffic relatively low. It's just the individuals that live out there. So I would ask for y'all to take into consideration that and ask the county commissioners to deny moving forward with it. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions, Mr. Tubbs?
Joe, what's the age of your mom?
72.
72.
Joe, how much traffic actually goes through the road?
Right now, very little. Very little traffic. Pretty much the residents out there. I know that Mr. Bowling stated that there was some family members here, and I see Mr. and Miss Woods. With all respect to Mr. and Miss Woods, they live a couple hundred miles from Gibson City Hall. I mean, 100 miles, a couple hundred yards from Gibson City Hall. They're on the extreme end of White Brothers Road. Their travel to Humboldt, the closest route would be 79. Closest route to Gibson would be 186. I do think that Mr. Woods works for Mr. Bowling's father. And I suspect that's why they're here. With regards to any other residents and for lack of oversight on my part, whenever I met with Mr. Carl Stoppenhagen at the road or County Road Commission, I didn't even consider the residents on the other side of the tracks because White Brothers starts at one road, it goes to the railroad tracks, and then it extends into Gibson. Those are so close into Gibson, I had not even thought of those. But the numerous residents that I've spoke with, and I'm not asking to be here, I'm not trying to draw anyone in on this. No one seems to have an objection to the road being as it is. For a long time, the road was gravel from where it starts on White Brothers Road all the way down to Chandler Road, which is still gravel. Chandler Road is gravel from White Brothers Road up to 79. Whenever Mr. Bowling built the house out there, they had from Chandler Road gravel up to his driveway, so he's got gravel up to his driveway. It's always been gravel out there. Personally, me, just for, I guess, nostalgic reasons, I would like to see the whole road gravel, but I wasn't very old, so they voted to have it blacktop. So it is blacktop from White Brothers down past 175, I believe it is, which was Miss White's residence originally. Whenever she passed, my mother purchased the property there, and she is the landowner, along with myself, with some of it on both sides of the road.
Ms. Woods, I believe I see Ms. Woods' hand raised. Would you like to stand and speak, please?
I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I live on the other end of White Brothers Road that you're talking about, that's paved. Well, for years it was not paved, and we went through a lot, and we paid our share to get that tar and chipped. And you were talking about that we don't go that route, we can go another route. We do go that route lots of days.
Yes.
And it is a personal thing for us too, because it's our vehicles and everything, and it's a connector road. There's a lot of traffic. And as far as going 30 miles an hour, there's people who speed past our house every day. So why would there be any difference in speeding past my house than speeding past a little further down the road?
It's not, and what I was saying, I didn't.
And I know as an attorney, you're familiar with all this stuff, but we have our rights too.
Yes, you absolutely do, that's why we're here. And I didn't say that y'all didn't travel down the road. I was simply pointing out that y'all live extremely close to Gibson.
Well, that has nothing to do with it.
The shortest route to Humboldt wouldn't be to go that route. That's all I was saying. Or the shortest route to Trenton wouldn't be that route.
I don't talk about going to Humboldt or Trenton. I'm talking about going down that road when I want to go visit my friend Donna Thomas or to visit other people. Going to Trenton and Humboldt has nothing to do with it.
Yes, ma'am. With regards to the speeding issue that you brought up, I suspect the speeding past y'all's house has increased since it was blacktop, because you can sit out there at my house or Mr. McClanahan's or my sister's house, any of them, right before you get to the gravel. Any evening when it starts to get dusk or any morning, you see the brake lights. They know the gravel's there. I heard mention of a safety concern. This road is probably as close to straight as an arrow as can be. Commissioner Childress has been with the Sheriff's Department, Paul Thomas, Sheriff. They're all familiar with the road. It's a very straight road. I can't see where there would be a safety concern. If it was a curve, a sharp curve, something along those lines, I might could see where it would be more of a safety concern. Anyone driving down this road can see the gravel from 100 yards, and they hit the brake lights, so they slow down. This is a rural area where families live that have pets. I mean, it acts just as I stated, as a speed bump in any parking lot in Jackson or so forth. It causes people to slow down, which I think actually improves the safety on the road.
Commissioner Yergin?
I'm an advocate of blacktop roads, and I hope everybody, I know if anybody that lives on a gravel road, it's tough. But could they blacktop the road just like it is without doing any right-of-way work? And the people on that road, I think, would be just as happy as long as it was as it was tar and chip, not. And maybe we could, the highway department could, under certain instances, waive that rule where it'd have to be cleaned off and have a 50-foot right-of-way on each side, or whatever the requirements are. Wouldn't that? Could they not do that in this instance?
I think it'd be beneficial to us all by calling on Mr. Carl Stoppenhagen to answer that question, and also shed some light on what sort of precedent this would set, and maybe give us a brief history as to how what we're doing now has worked for the county. Mr. Carl. Thank you, Mr. Tubbs.
Couple points of clarification. It's 0.3 miles is the length of this little section of road. The road board did not really start this action. This action was brought to us by some more the property owners that were wanting this road paved. At the time that I talked to Joe at the first conversation, we did not have an action at that time. But subsequent to that, we felt like we dealt with all of his mom's or family's concerns about the speeding. Sheriff Thomas said that he would help with some extra patrols out there about the speeding. And we also dealt with Gary Pascal about this of of itself increase the property taxes on that property. After we answered those questions, we decided as a road board that we ought to go ahead and pursue this because, number one, there's not any clearing to be done. It's not a considerable cost to the family to get this done. The answer to your question about the right-of-way, you talk about a terrible precedent. If we were to pave this little old piece of road, the tar and chip on the road actually puts a stamp on it that we have right-of-way. And if Gibson Electric or utility company goes out there and starts digging or putting something in the ground and they don't have right-of-way, they may have to come back and move their utilities. So our policy as a road board is that we have the 50-foot right-of-way before tar and chip is placed on the road. The little piece of property that was referred to when the two houses were built out there on the section of White Brothers Road, we actually secured the entire right-of-way off of the other property owner was the way that we got that piece of the road done. So they gave us all the right-of-way. We didn't violate our policy. That's where we are this morning. The board was a split decision when we were trying to come up with an answer on this and just recognizing how important this is and the precedent that it probably sets trying to deal with property owners in the future. If they force us to go to condemnation court, we're probably through building roads. We've always allowed the property owners to donate land. It's worked like a charm. They cleared their own right-of-way. And after we made all the answers that we thought we needed with this property owner, it was voted that we send it to y'all because we understand the heaviness of the decision. Is there any question?
Is there more support to have this done than opposition to it?
Well, you're talking about from the road board?
No, from the general public. I mean, do you have a lot of people that are supporting y'all to do this project, or do you have more opposition against this?
This is a pretty old situation out there. I mean, there's been lots of requests over time to pave the road. Mark McGill's with me, the commissioner for that area, and he'll tell you probably that it's probably more people that want to see it paved, but it's kind of this kind of a thing. You don't hear anything about White Brothers because the traffic is not that great out there. It's not what I would consider a thoroughfare. But just the fact, from a safety standpoint, just the fact that people are driving 55 miles an hour and all of a sudden encounter a piece of gravel road, there's no doubt it's a safety issue. I mean, you don't drive 55 miles an hour and then lose control of something after you hit the gravel. And as hard as it is to maintain, you got to send a grader out there to grade 3/10 of a mile. Yeah, Chandler is still gravel because we can't get right away on it either. So thus the frustration and why y'all are looking at it this morning. The road board could not resolve this, and we don't want to start a condemnation countywide. We want to specifically ask for this little project right here to be finalized and let us get that little piece of road done.
How many similar stretches, Mr. Carl, of road would you say we have out there that would fall under the same condemnation criteria, so to speak, as White Brothers Road?
There's really not any that fit this category because this is no cost to the property owner. One reason we backed off is if somebody has got some big oak trees and they're going to have to pay $1,000 to get some trees down, we've never pursued that as a road board to force or condemn that to happen because our process has always worked. I can remember when I first started going to county highway officials meetings statewide, and they did say, is it true that the property owners not only signed the right-of-way paper, but they cleared? And they can't believe that our process works, but it does, and it's always has worked. This is kind of a frustration because we feel like we've done due diligence in looking at both sides and trying to satisfy both sides of the equation. We just can't get to the answer, so that's where we are.
How long has this situation existed where it's part gravel and part tar and chip? How long has it been like that?
Let's see, I believe the Tubbs side was done in 1988. And we did the Gibson side, I'm not sure about the date on that, probably 12 years ago, possibly.
From Orange Road to where it stops at the gravel now was done, I suppose, correctly in '88. from Chandler Road into Gibson was done at the same time, if my memory serves me correct. And if I may, just one other thing with regards to the safety concern of speeding. I have the utmost faith in the sheriff's department. I think they're doing an excellent job. But the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If the gravel's slowing people down, Gibson County's a big county, as everybody here knows. The sheriff's department is stretched thin doing what they do. If that keeps the traffic, people coming through from speeding, then I don't see any need in putting an additional burden on the sheriff's department to have to be out there to slow people down.
It may be true that it was 88. In 2012 is when we actually did a little short piece of road for these other houses.
What is the initial reason that that stretch of road was never?
No right of way. Any other questions?
You said the
Commissioner
vote-
Moss?
You said the vote was split on the road board. How was that? Was it a close vote or?
We just have 5 members. So,
I know.
Yeah, yeah, I'd rather not go there, but it was considerable discussion. In other words, we understand both sides as they present that to us. And as a matter of fact, we tried to do, the mayor helped us with some of this in trying to secure the answers about the patrols and Gary Pascal's situation. But we feel like we're up against the wall, and we've done everything that we can think of to try to resolve it, and here we are. So this little piece of tar and chip, I don't think, there's no way it's going to damage the property. It's no cost to the property owner, and all those variables being there, we don't see any reason why it can't be done.
Are we going to open up though, like you said? Are we going to have to, every time you get ready to build a road, are you going to go through this process?
Hope not. I gave y'all a little fact sheet that answers some of these questions just to try to quiet down the conversation a little bit this morning. But I made a point in there that this is a very unique situation where we're not dealing with forcing the clearing part or something like that to be dealt with. There's not money involved in it. The road width is, just as he said, is fine like it is. All we want to do is tar and chip it, but our policy says we have to have the right of way before we do that.
I got one other question. We've never really ever forced anybody to give a right of way on property before.
We have not. That I know of. We probably have done some condemnation, like around the lake and some things like that, but the road board, I don't know, has ever recommended to y'all to condemn property.
Carl, at Shallow Road, when we straightened it out and brought the road to the top of the hill instead of behind the hill, didn't we do that?
We threatened and just resolved that one. We just purchased a small piece of property and solved that one without condemnation. So we did threaten to do that because that was a major safety issue out there.
Other than this issue, is there any other consideration for condemnation of that stretch of property?
No, it's just the paving issue.
Ms. Woods, would you like to speak again?
Yeah, I just have a comment. We were talking about patrolling that area for speeders. Well, I don't really see the need of putting any extra burden on the sheriff's department to patrol that area because our area is never patrolled, so I don't see why it would be necessary to put that on the sheriff's department to patrol that area.
We did that strictly to try to resolve the issue.
Right, I understand, but, I'd hate to see an extra burden put on when they could be doing other things more important.
Mr. Carl, we appointed the road commissioners to represent an area. That's what this body does, I believe. And I have great faith in the board members that you have because I know y'all do an excellent job. What would it be that goes back to them again for consideration? I mean, why is it here on us when we have a board elected or appointed to represent the people of the county? I mean, I understand it's a split, but why couldn't they've heard or y'all discussed it? So why couldn't we put it back to your road board to make a decision?
Good. I think the counselor said that the road board actually has that authority on their own. They just recognize the severity of it. They just recognize that we're really stepping on new ground here. And we felt more comfortable with the 25-person body considering it. It could be done. And we've acted on it.
So legally, the procedure, executing the legal procedure can be done solely through your board?
Yes.
Okay.
No matter what the vote is today.
Any other questions for me?
Mr. Carl, you said there'd be no cost to this family to have these right-of-ways cleared?
We actually have the width, all we need is a 25-foot each side of the center line is the only thing that we're waiting.
There's no trees to be cleared?
No. Now once we get the right of way, miscellaneous ditch work, some of that kind of stuff, I've had that conversation with Joe, and we'll do routine maintenance. Right now, under the uniform road law, all we can do on a gravel road is from back of ditch to back of ditch. That defines what the road department can work on. If we need some additional shoulder or anything like that, we've got to have that additional space because we're on private property once we exceed that. In this particular case, our policy is that we have to have that right of way defined and in place before we pave it. So that's where we are.
Any further questions?
What is
Commissioner Wall?
the speed limit in a county road, period?
I thought it was 55. I know,
I thought we voted on one time like 45.
I've never heard 30. I'm on my 22nd year, but
is it 30?
If it's not posted.
Okay, all right, 30.
Commissioner Wall, do you have something you want to add?
Hypothetically, if this situation was reversed and Ms. Tubbs wanted that pay, would the same, and the others did not want to pay it, change the direction that the county board takes? And are you opening yourself up to that?
What are you saying? If they're parked,
Say I have a quarter of a mile I want to pay. Nobody else wants to pay.
We've got that situation.
It's like Hudson Road where you have everybody sign. If everybody signs up, then the road's charged. Like Hudson.
That's the way it normally would work. Yes.
If everybody signs.
Yeah, everybody agrees.
So the problem with this one is we're just talking about 0.3 of a mile right in the center of a road that's already been improved on both ends. So it's kind of a unique situation.
If it is paid, are you claiming right of way on that section then?
That's what this is asking. This is a condemnation.
I think it sets a dangerous precedent.
We did too.
May I ask one more question, and then I'll stop? Back when the road was tar and chipped in front of Miss Tubbs' house, did she approve that to be?
Her name is on the right of way paper.
So what is your problem then with this area?
Her name is on White Brothers Road, then how come it's not on there now?
The right-of-way agreement, does it state a specific address? If you've got her signature, would that apply to all of her property?
No, this project only went to Bob Hazelwood.
So apparently it was okay to tar and chip in front of her house, but not where other people would like to see a small area tar and chip. That's the way I see it.
If I can address that at the time, Mr. McClanahan, who is a second cousin, I believe, to hers, who lives 2 houses down towards Warren Road, really wanted that strip paved. The issue at this point with the gap in between is, as I've stated, the 3 points or concerns that we have. One, the increase in the value of the property, which will affect the taxes. The second, as far as the speeding on the road. And then again, the third, the amount of traffic. With regards to the statement Mr. Carl Stoppenhagen stated, there is a strip that we've discussed that's maybe 75 yards long where there's trees on both sides. If you're going towards the Gibson, the trees on the right side are probably already backed off of the road far enough that there would not have to be any clearing if the easement was granted to be condemned. The trees on the left side would have to be. because they are right up to the ditch. So that would be further encroaching into that wooded area that would have to be cleared off. From my understanding, if you're going to condemn the 25-foot easement from the center line on both sides.
Our 50-foot right-of-way doesn't mean we clear trees for 50 feet. And the existing road out there is wide enough to pave as it is with the existing width. So we would not have to take those trees out.
Just to be clear, everybody's talking about speeding. The area that this is reducing speeding is wooded area on both sides of the road. There are no residents, nobody lives at this area where this road is driving. This is, I mean, it's a road, I travel this road to work every day. I mean, I come home that way every day. It's the shortest path for me to go to work and come home from work. And as far as reducing speeding, there's no houses involved to reduce speeding. There's wooded area on both sides of the road there in this area.
Tom, may I ask Gary something?
Sure.
Is the property, this piece of property taxed at a different rate than the ones on the asphalt road?
Gary, you want to answer that?
No, you've got different classifications of road, county gravel and county paved, same exact assessment.
So the assessment value is not gonna go up if it's asphalt?
No.
So there'd be no tax increase?
Correct.
So it's already assessed at what it's gonna be?
It's where it's gonna be unless the state takes it over, which I don't think is very likely.
So that issue don't matter?
We address that.
Is there no houses on the road where it's gravel?
May I ask?
Mr. Sykes?
Yes. Of course, we're sitting here as commissioners listening to the same argument that the road commission is already.
Correct.
And we're going to be asked this morning to make a decision on that. And you can tell by the comments here, there's no clear, nobody's clear on which way to go with this. And I don't know why we just don't let the highway commission do what they're elected to do and just let them do what they're supposed to do instead of putting it on us today.
Are you putting that in form of a motion?
Yes.
I second it. Motion's been made by Commissioner Sykes to refer the matter back to Gibson County Highway Commission and seconded by Commissioner Longmire. Any further discussion? All those in favor vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Thank you. I want to, if it would please the body, I want to circumvent procedure and move the appointment to the gas board to next on the agenda. If I can put that form of motion, somebody, motion made by Commissioner Miles, second by Commissioner Lawson. All those in favor, vote say aye. And opposed likewise. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Ed Norman, please come forward, present on behalf of the Gibson County Utility District.
Who's second that?
Lawson.
For those of you who don't know who I am Ed Norman. I'm chairman of the board at Gibson Company. Have been for a number of years now. If you can't hear me, I come from a long line of mumblers, so bear with me.
Turn the air off and we'll fine.
Yeah, that probably works, wouldn't it?
Is the microphone on? Yeah.
I don't know, is it?
We've been pulled a little closer.
Anyway, I sent each one of y'all a letter in the hope that you received it a couple of weeks ago and had time to review it. Basically about the procedures that we go through in this process. Burley Holman, unfortunately, had to resign from the board recently because of health issues.
I believe so.
Okay. Well, Burley had to resign recently because of health issues. We've never been faced with this before. We've always had just normal appointments, and the first time we've had one of these. And as a general rule, we have to go out and find people to actually want to try to be on the list for this. But fortunately for us, we had 9 and then 10 good candidates that I'd be proud to serve with out of all 10 without any problems. That makes it also pretty hard because most of those candidates I know, a lot of them are considered friends, and you can't choose them all. That's just part of it, though. When you take on a job like this, you've got to make some hard choices sometimes, and that's what we've had to do. Two of our primary considerations in this is we're trying to honor our old district the way it used to be. So with Burling leaving the Trenton district, we were wanting to try to keep somebody in the Trenton district. We also, from the directive in the Tennessee Code Annotated that's issued, is one of the priorities is try to have somebody that's a minority, namely a female in our case, and that was another consideration in this. We placed Amy Greer at the top of the list. Amy is young, she's involved, she's a leader in our community, she's from the Trenton area, and obviously a female. So another thing, I'd like to invite y'all to come to our meetings. We are open meetings just like y'all are. If you ever have a problem, I wish you would come. We would like to entertain that. So at this time, I would ask if y'all would please honor our top choice, and that was Amy Greer, put in this position. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman and Ed, I've just got to speak up because there is a lady that's one of the 9 on the list that actually called me and has talked to me, and she's interested in the job too.
Okay, Commissioner, if it would be okay, what I planned on doing was, we've got several candidates here who I think some of which would like to speak and address the body. And once they're finished, I'm going to open the floor to nominations. I'm going to read the list of the 9 candidates. Before we do that, though, just real quickly, I want to explain to you how this decision came to you. Tennessee Code says that the county mayor has the authority to choose from a list of 3 names sent to him by the utility district. We've been through this before. I think this is the 4th appointment that I've been through. The very first appointment we went through, it kind of turned into a debacle. I'm not going to lie about it. It culminated with the person who was wanting to handpick their successor being in my home one evening when I came home from work uninvited. And we went through that procedure, and at that time I went to Mr. Pat Riley. I said, Mr. Pat, I said, put John Brown's name on the list of candidates. It wasn't John Brown, but I said, he's a good guy. He's from Bradford. Put his name on this list and let's move forward. And since that time, we've had 2 other appointments come up. And it worked fine. You guys sent the list. I picked the first one on your list, and it went back. In 2010, when I was elected to office, one of the first people that came to see me was a friend of mine and a business owner in the city of Trenton, and he expressed his desire to serve on that board. If Miss Berlin ever decided to step off that board, he wanted to fill that position. And I promised him at that time that I would do all I could to help him get on that board. So I thought he'd make a good board member. He's honest and fair, level-headed, and he's done nothing in the past 5 years to indicate to me that he would be anything other than that now. So this is about me keeping a promise to a friend and making sure that the gas company has a good board member. Now that said, any of these 9 people would be a fine board member. And I think you would agree with that.
Absolutely.
Any of the 9 would be absolutely fine. I know all 9 people on this list that all make good board members. I've heard from 3 people that has expressed interest to me in serving on that board. One was my friend that I discussed earlier, who's not a part of this list. The other was Caleb Benwitty, who's here today. The other is Jim Overall, who's here today. They called and shared their vision with me as far as what their membership on that board would consist of, the direction they see the utility district going forward, and I think they make fine candidates. Now, all that being said, if it were up to me, these board positions would be elected positions chosen by the voters of Gibson County the way they used to be. Right. To me, that's what I would like to see happen.
Me too.
Yeah, that's not the case. Now, the next best thing, as far as I'm concerned, if they're not elected positions, they should be appointed by this body of elected officials. Not one person, not the mayor. They should go to the full county commission, and that's what we're doing here today. And I've got all the faith and confidence in this board to choose a good board member. Now, that being said, Mr. Norman, would you like to add anything to that?
Well, the reason that we changed from an elected position, I think I was probably the last one elected, you know, it's a countywide election, and I won by one vote. Of course, they call me landslide now to this day, and that was 11 years ago. But, I received, I think, 223 votes across the county, and my opposition received 222. And in that regard, it was obvious to me that that was not probably the best system, because people apparently didn't care, or they would have voted. So that's the reason we chose to go the direction we did, which is by far, I think, 90–95% or even more of the utility boards that are formed like us is handled throughout the state. And we're trying to become more uniform with what the state wishes. And this is what the comptroller and everybody else prefer that we do. And that's the reason we went this way. And again, I want to reiterate, you know, this has been an arduous task, to say the least. We had 10 good people. And I think a lot of them, all 10 of them, and I have to be proud to serve with all 10. But we made our recommendations, not because of any other reason. I mean, it's not like it's my son or my first cousin. It's somebody that we have a great deal of respect. She's young, she's enthusiastic about our community, and we just felt like that she was probably the best candidate for the position. And I don't know about the other towns, but the city of Trenton, we're limited as to the number of youth that we have right now that want to be involved. And it's really pretty refreshing to have a few of them there, and we need to get them involved as much as we can and train them, so to speak, because I know there's several of you sitting around this table. Corey Erden, probably one of them. He's about the same age as me. It's just we're limited as the amount of time that we can do this, and it's time to get some young people involved. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. Apparently, the comptroller of the Treasury thinks all county mayors are idiots except when it comes to appointing gas board members. So the only thing they give us any authority on. That said, I'm going to read the list of candidates. This is the list as it was presented to me by order of the utility district. Miss Amy Greer, Mr. Tim Bell, Miss Kathy Burris, Mr. Rich Cunningham, Miss Jane Tyree, Mr. Caleb Dinwiddie, Mr. Jim Overall, Miss Brenda Horner, and Mr. Warner Coleman. At this time, I'd open the floor to nominations.
I nominate Amy Greer.
Commissioner Hughes nominates Miss Amy Greer.
Second.
There's no second needed.
Yeah, there's no second needed to nomination.
Nominate Caleb Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Summers nominates Mr. Caleb Dinwiddie. Commissioner Carr nominates Mr. Jim Overall.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Ms. Brenda Horner.
Commissioner Collins nominates Ms. Brenda Horner.
They speak out better. Do that better for speaking.
Say again?
They speak out, if you're gonna have them speak, have them speak
Oh,
out
okay,
better.
yeah.
Tom, who is this Rich Cunningham?
I think it's outreach. I ain't heard from him. I've not heard from the candidate.
I mean, what would they have? I mean,
I don't know.
he lives at Holly.
What Rich Cunningham is this? Mr. Norman?
He's around the Bradford area, I don't know.
Yeah, I see this.
I thought they had to be within that district.
It's,
It doesn't necessarily
that
have
is
to
not
be.
required anymore.
Yeah.
That is something that we self-impose. We try to keep in our original districts because we feel like we want a good representation across the county. So it is, it's open county-wide, truthfully.
So they could be 4 people out of one area?
Good. Legally, yes.
That don't make no sense.
Any further nominations? If not, I'm going to call on the 4 candidates who've been nominated to come forth if they would like to speak by alphabetical order. First up will be Mr. Caleb Dinwiddie. I know Caleb's here. I saw him earlier. Thanks for being here today, Mr. Dinwiddie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Caleb Dinwiddie, and I own and operate a farm. I'm a commercial user and not residential at the moment. Gas doesn't come by my residence, and but you know, I'm just concerned about the efficiency of the gas utility district. I look at rates throughout the Midwest and comparisons of what I'm paying versus what is traded on the board, and it's just a huge gap. Natural gas is less than $2, and we're paying 10. So I'm concerned about the efficiency of the whole system. You know, that has a huge bearing on industry, and it's just something that concerns me, and I was willing to spend my time, and I'll do that, and I appreciate your consideration.
Any questions for Mr. Dinwiddie?
I suppose you want just to go along with everything they want, if you got to be wrong.
I've served on several boards, and serving on, as y'all are doing, is not a popular thing, and you have to do what's right. And sometimes I've been the one no vote, and I have been the one yes vote. So it's you know, it's two-edged, both sides of the table. But I'll do the best to represent the payers.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Next on the list, I'd like to call on Miss Amy Drew. Thank you for being here today.
Good morning. I'm Amy Breer. I live here in Trenton. I am female. I have a business here, State Farm. I have a family. I'm involved very much in the community. I'm in the Rotary Club. I'm in the Car Parking Trenton Exchange Club. My whole purpose in wanting to be on the board is to serve, to have an open ear, to help the citizens of our county, and kind of nervous what means making that to speak. But if you have any questions of myself, I'd be glad to answer them.
Does anybody have any questions, Ms. Greer?
Ms. Greer, are you a gas customer present?
I am, commercially and residentially.
Any more questions for Ms. Greer? If not, thank you, Ms. Greer, for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule. Next, Ms. Brenda Horner. I don't believe I've seen Ms. Brenda here today. If not, next on the list, Mr. Jim Overall. And thank you for being here today, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Man, that's got a familiar ring too.
Yeah.
Good morning. Members of the commission, my name is Jim Overall. I am currently seeking position as the old position on the Gibson County Utility Gas Board. I am currently employed as on the management team of Dyer Foods, other known as Food Right Stores. My wife and I also own a business here in Trenton. We've owned it for the last 25 years. I have sat where you are sitting today. I appreciate everything you do. I served, I hope graciously, 2 terms on the commission and 3 terms on the Trenton City Council. I've served on various committees and chaired at one with some mayors on several of those committees. I do have an understanding of the policies and procedures. I do have a love of Trenton. I have a love of Gibson County, or I wouldn't have done what I've done. I would also love the opportunity to sit on this board. I do believe I'd have the best interests of the ratepayers and all the county at heart. That has been my history in the past. As Mr. Dinwiddie said, I've been yes votes, I've been no votes, but I'm always willing to listen. The opportunities are there. There are 2 sides to every coin. So you have to weigh them out. That's what I know you're elected to do. That's what I hope to be appointed to do, is to make the best and fair decision for all. I thank you for your time.
Any questions for Mr. Overall?
So are you a resident, are you a customer of Gibson County Gas?
Residential, yes, sir.
Any further questions, Mr. Overall? Again, thank you, sir, for being here. Again, you have the 4 candidates who've been nominated: Mr. Caleb Dinwiddie, Ms. Amy Greer, Ms. Brenda Horner, and Mr. Jim Overall. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, I'll try to help you keep score here. Just state the name of the candidate of your choice, please.
Okay, now, how am I doing?
I'll keep the score here.
Okay,
You'll just call the roll.
I'm just doing the name first, right? Okay.
Yeah, just call the roll as usual.
Amy, okay. Okay, Commissioner Hughes?
Ms. Greer?
Oh, this was, okay.
Just call the roll. I'll keep score.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Egbert?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Jim Overall.
Commissioner Sykes?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Longmire?
Mr. Jim Overall.
Commissioner Carr?
Jim Overall.
Commissioner Macklin?
Overall.
Commissioner Tubbs?
Jim Overall.
Commissioner Cameron?
Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Summers?
Caleb Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Lawson?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Locke?
I have to abstain.
Commissioner Collins?
Brenda Horner.
Commissioner Wall?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner McEwen?
Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Littleton?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Pella?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Stale?
Caleb Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Yergin?
Amy Greer.
Commissioner Childers?
Dinwiddie.
Commissioner Moss?
Amy Greer. Amy Greer.
I have 9 votes, Amy Greer, 5 votes Caleb Dinwiddie, 5 votes Jim Overall, 1 vote Brenda Horn. The body has spoken. Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Greer. Democracy in action. We have a list of budget transfers, and I believe Director Pilla provided some additional budget transfers to that list. I hope you've had opportunity to look them over. I've entertained a motion to approve the budget transfers. Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Tubbs. All those in favor, vote saying aye. Opposed likewise. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the resolutions. Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Tubbs. All those in favor, vote saying aye. And opposed likewise. Resolution number 1 is a resolution to set up carryover funds from the 2014-15 budget for the industrial park and the 2015-16 budget. This is for the Invest Prep grant we're doing access road project on. I'd like to entertain a motion on this resolution. Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, second by Commissioner Sykes. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
$10,500. You're gonna have to spend some more money on that project, right?
I've had a hard time hearing you, Commissioner Carr.
You spent $10,500 on this project. Well, we need some additional funds on this same project.
That's what this is doing, carrying over that grant money so we can draw out over the upcoming year.
Mayor, no new money, this is just a transfer of the balance.
Yeah, no new money, just transferring the balance on the project that's already been approved. Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes?
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire?
Yes.
Commissioner Carr?
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin?
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron?
Yes.
Commissioner Summers?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen?
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pella?
Yes.
Commissioner Stale?
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin?
Yes.
Commissioner Childers?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 2 is a resolution to set up expenditures for the full-time firemen and the revenue for the grant. That's part of our AFG grant we received last year. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 2? Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Lawson. Any discussion?
Mayor, I have concerns on this one. Just the fact that we are possibly turning our volunteer fire department into a paid fire department. And I understand that this is a grant for 2 years, and at the end of 2 years, we may have to undo some of this unless we're willing to fund it. My understanding is, and if you'll help me clarify this, this is 100% grant money that we're talking about today. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Chief Cannon, would you like to address Commissioner Hughes' comment? Were you able to hear him?
No, sir, it was not.
Would you like to?
Well,
Let me add one thing, Stephen, just 1 second. We did make clear when we started this to the committee, which is the chairman of that committee, that we have no prior intentions of trying to fund anything. This was a grant that they received that, we were falling short of firefighters in the daytime responding to calls. And these 8 people that Chief Cathy has hired are coming in with the understanding that there's a very good possibility, unless we can get another grant, that in at the end of this grant program, they will not be employed. So I just want you to know.
Yes, sir.
Is that help you a little?
Yes, sir, it does.
And Brian,
That is correct.
I just know it's gonna be hard after we get them on the payroll to fire them, and that's what, if we don't get them.
but they have all come in here with a clear understanding in the interview process that they're not signing on for a career.
They know their future employment's contingent upon that grant being continued.
Yes, sir.
Or the impact they have been profound enough that you as a body decide to continue without the grant. So that's going to be evaluated ways. So that's where they are. The firefighters have a full understanding of that. Any further discussion on resolution number 2? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Magnet,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McKeon,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pell,
Yes.
Commissioner Stale,
Yes.
Commissioner Garrett,
Yes.
Commissioner Chilton,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 3 is a resolution to move funds between function codes for insurance, liability insurance on buildings, general liability, and vehicles in the 2015-16 budget. Greg, this is part of our gas requirements.
What we're trying to do is trying to take the cost of liability insurance and spread it back to the departments. And when I had the insurance estimates when I did the budget, and also the insurance, I have split out into 3 categories instead of 1. It used to just be called general liability. Now I split it out into the 3 categories that we pay by. And when I did the budget, I didn't have that split. So what I'm doing now is taking that X amount of money that we budgeted, and I'm splitting it back correctly to the departments. If you look at the very bottom line on that resolution, it's got a 0 balance. There's no new money here. It's just taking the money that we've already budgeted and splitting it out to the correct accounts.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to entertain a motion on resolution number 3. Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Longmire. Any further discussion?
How did you determine which office? I mean, like your office is $704 and election commission is $843.
Greg, you want to answer?
That is the difference that we need to see. I've already budgeted an amount there in the departments, and this is the adjustment that I'm going to need to get it back to what it actually was. Like for the county mayor, what hits? There's no vehicles in the county mayor. There's no building. It's just general liability.
Right.
And the problem was that the breakout of the classifications that were done in the previous budgets did not follow, I don't know how to say it other than it, the way it was allocated was not the way that it's actually being charged to the county. We pay general liability based on payroll.
So in other words, the insurance company is dictating what it costs to do each one of these offices.
Yes. Yes.
It's not it's just not gone through and somebody said, well, I think this office needs to be charged this amount and this office needs to be charged that amount.
No, it's based on payroll.
Okay.
The general liability is. Vehicles are based on what kind of vehicle it is.
Okay.
It's just like your farm insurance. It's the same principle.
Well, I mean, I just thinking, you know, it wouldn't be fair for one office to be hit with higher rates than another office if we was determining this, but if the insurance company's determining it, I guess they've got a formula they go by.
Well, it depends on how many employees you've got in that department. If you've got 25 employees in a department, it's going to get hit with more general liability insurance than a department with 1 or 2 employees.
Okay.
That's the difference there.
Okay.
Between departments.
I got you.
Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yeah.
Commissioner Maggie,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Resolution number 4 is a resolution to request unclaimed balance of accounts remitted to state treasurer under Unclaimed Property Act. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 4? Motion made by Commissioner Moss, seconded by Commissioner Hughes. Any discussion? All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Resolution number 5 is a resolution to increase budget funds for the county mayor and fair board in the 2015-16 budget. Just real briefly, I had an employee who went through some fairly serious health problems back at the end of last year. Fortunately, she's still recovering, but doing very well, and is back on the job. And I'm very thankful for that. This is money, I actually made the budget committee aware of this before it took place, that we would be asking for today to make up that shortfall. While we had an employee drawing sick leave, we're also paying part-time personnel. And I appreciate your help on that. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 5? Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, seconded by Commissioner Steele. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
What is the fair money, Mayor? Is it like the money we've already appropriated for those repairs? This is something that was missed.
There were some electrical repairs that had to be done. Was that prior to the fair, Greg?
We did it the week before the fair opened up. The electrical had to be redone out there in order for the vendors to hook up.
And we'd already we'd already spent all the fair maintenance funds.
And Mr. Hughes, I don't know if it was due to vandalism or what, but we had some big problems at the fairgrounds, and all the plugs were destroyed, and we had to hire an electrician to come out there and replace everything, or we wouldn't have had a fair.
Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Maggie,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries, and thank you again for that. And by the way, you see Miss Deanne Summers out and about. She retired Friday, was her last day. And man, we're surely going to miss her. She's done y'all a tremendous job. She's been a great team player and a great watchdog for the taxpayers. of this county. And she's been a great one, and don't know what I'm gonna do without her, but we'll make it as best we can, and wish her the best in her retirement. So if you see Deanne, thank her and congratulate her on her retirement, please. Resolution number 6 is a resolution to receive and budget $2,551 in state grant money for the Gibson County Memorial Library. I hear a motion on resolution number 6. Motion made by Commissioner Tubbs, second by Commissioner Summers. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes?
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire?
Yes.
Commissioner Carr?
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin?
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron?
Yes.
Commissioner Summers?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen?
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar?
Yes.
Commissioner Steele?
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin?
Yes.
Commissioner Childers?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 7. Resolution number 7 is resolution to appropriate funds for additional delinquent tax publications for Humboldt Clerk and Master in the amount of $2,900. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 7? Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Hughes. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes?
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire?
Yes.
Commissioner Carr?
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin?
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron?
Yes.
Commissioner Summers?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen?
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar?
Yes.
Commissioner Steele?
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin?
Yes.
Commissioner Childers?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 8. Resolution number 8 is a resolution adopting resolutions governing the health and safety standards of residential and non-residential properties, overgrown and dilapidated property. Before we get into this, I think I'm going to have Floyd, since he wrote this. This is something Floyd and I have worked on for some time now. We've got a handful of, I'm just going to go ahead and call it what it is, irresponsible property owners out there that cause us a tremendous amount of headache. And as much as they cause me headache, they cause their neighbors a lot more. And we've never had anything with any real teeth to it that would allow us to do anything to force these people to clean up their properties and address the health concerns upon them. So what this is doing, to a nutshell, is it's going to give us that authority to impose a fine, and it's going to establish a board to give the property owners the opportunity to appeal that process. So, Floyd, you want to provide a little more legal overview?
Yes, I appreciate it. You all know that, and it's not necessarily limited to the county, although that's pretty much where we see most of it. You'll see dilapidated, run-down junk cars on cinder blocks, yards not mowed, broken lawnmowers just all over the yard, bottles, trash. Just think your ugly picture that you see on the weekends if you drive out in the country. But we also have it in the cities. Now the cities, we don't have, they have their own controls for that, but this is talking about for the county. And I don't have to convince you that we have it in Gibson County. Where's Ricky back? There he is. Ricky and I just participated in a lawsuit filing in which we took a landowner to court. They did clean up the property. I guess in some ways it worked, although I had come into town today and noticed that it's not probably going back the other way. I agree. I saw that this morning. In any event, we contacted CTAS. This is not a Gibson County problem. It's a 95 county problem. And so with the help of CTAS, and actually I appreciate the mayor telling me that I did it, but actually this is a CTAS prepared resolution. We tweaked it a little bit, but in short, it'll give us teeth. We won't have to go to court, hopefully as much, if at all, but it'll give you as a property owner who is next to someone who has this type of dilapidated property a place to go. It gives the you're gonna appoint the 5-member board here in just a minute. It gives them judicial power, if you will, to levy fines and orders. And, I mean, it's one of the best things we've done since I've been in the county commission. And I hope you'll pass it. But that's basically it. Does anybody have a question? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Out in the county, you've been out in the county. I'll tell you, our county roads and some of our county properties are looking like big.
Yeah.
And it's a crying shame that the people in this county can't seem to throw their trash in a trash can. Not all of them, some of them, inside of our road ditches in the road. And when it rains, like we've had this lot of rain, guess where all that trash is going? Clogging up culverts, flooding roads, so forth and so on. And pertaining to property, somebody that don't want to keep their property up. Well, this legislation right here, force them to, and if they don't, can you actually clean it up and eject them from the property?
I don't know about the ejecting from the property. We can go up and assess it to them, yes.
If this property is inhabitable, it's to a point where this person is living in unsafe conditions, especially with children, what can be done about that?
You've got a bunch of people involved in that. You have children's services involved in that. You've got the health department. There are a lot of opportunities there.
But it's like the mayor said, somebody keeps a nice looking property and you've got some irresponsible property owner that lives next to you. Up to now, I had to put up with it, you had to put up with rocks. I hope to see that change.
We hope this will do that. I couldn't agree with you more. And that, we've just never had anything we never had any power to wield for these cases.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, other than I would go out to these properties, I'd stick up signs on the property saying they're in violation, and some would clean it up, some would. But some you could scare them into action, some you just couldn't. And I think they figured out that we didn't have any teeth in our legislation. But this will give us the opportunity to impose a daily fine. It won't cost the taxpayers anything. Up till now, the only recourse we've had is going on the property, cleaning up the property, and attaching a lien to their property if they don't pay for the cleanup.
Yeah.
Well, now we can impose a fine that's going to build and build every day, and they know that every day that they're not cleaning up, every day they're not picking up garbage, they're being fined. So that's what this will allow us to do now. I had a phone call last night, 7:45 last night, Highway 54 highway right outside of town. Here, this is the third time I've gone to this property owner, and thank the Lord, I was able to tell the lady last night, I said, cross your fingers, if we get this legislation passed, in 60 days, I'll be able to start imposing a fine on these people. So I hope that you pass this, I really do.
It's a crying shame, like I said, I clean my road up, the road I live on is out in the county. And it really hurts me that I can get a 30-pound trash bag full every day with no problem. And somebody says to me when I tell them about it, well, that's what we pay the county taxes for. No, they got it all wrong. We don't pay county taxes for somebody to use our side ditches as garbage cans. But you can't tell some folks that.
Well, we appreciate that. Like I say, there ain't no more place in Tennessee trash.
Well, when I see
If on these dilapidated houses, you know, like 5 right down the road, that, I don't know who, I know people own part of them, and the land is not worth, you know, the lot itself is not worth what it would take to clean it off, and clean and bury that building. Are we gonna get into owning some of this property?
Well, we do by delinquent, you know, most of the time, we get it through the delinquent tax sales.
But I mean, is this gonna come about if you, you know, like you find them $50 a day and they finally tell you, just take it? I don't, you know, I'll sign it over to you.
I mean, we'd have to agree to take it back. We don't have to take it back. That's what you're asking. Yeah, we could agree to take it back. That might be the thing to do. But that would be up to this board. It wouldn't be up to Tom and me.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of these properties are rental properties, and the landlords aren't keeping an eye on it maybe like they should.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll be able to send that landlord a letter saying, look, you're being fined every day. That's not being addressed. You better get out there and check on your tenant.
No, I'm talking about the houses that have been abandoned, you know, that's falling in.
Oh.
Down in the, there's one out here in the flood zone, you know, and I know that it's not in that lot that it's owned. It's really in the flood, but I don't think you can build back legally on it. And so that's what I'm wondering, you know, if you tell these people they've got to tear this down, clean it up, you know, clean a lot up, because I think that's what it reads. Am I right, or
Well,
am I way off on that?
is that what you were asking, Steve?
No, I have a different point.
Okay. In that situation, we're talking about fines, and as far as the steps after those fines, we don't, it'll be up to us to, this body would have to decide what they wanted to do. We put that, where's Ricky? We put that on Ricky in the past, and he would come forward, and then, but I'm sure we would not take that action without your, I know it would, your authority.
Before, in the other one that they grew up, you know, the agriculture was pretty much exempted. But I know a lot of, you know, places that have a lot of
It's not
dead tractors and that, and the other, they still use parks all of them.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be kind of up to
It is.
the Ricky and the board, you know, unless the neighbors really complain.
Well, that's right. We're not gonna be in, Ricky, I assume you're gonna have the neighbors call you, you're not gonna go out looking for all of this.
But the trash has got to be something, we've got to have
Yeah.
something for that, there's too much of that.
Yeah.
Whether they just throw the garbage out the back door.
Right.
Yeah,
Steve?
I don't go out looking for this. These are complaints that come to my office and it's put in my lap and left up to me and Ricky to address. And
I had a
we're
call
talking,
last night too. I mean, I get them pretty regular too.
and it's almost always the same offenders. You know, it's just the repeat offenses. You know, it's a cycle. You know, they'll clean up enough to get us off their back, and then they go right back into that situation again. Mr. Hughes.
I see a potential problem in that we're a rural county, and just like's been mentioned, you got an old tractor or an old combine or something like that out in a field that doesn't hurt anybody, and then you get some kind of dispute between neighbors, and the way this is written at section 4, the neighbors have the right to complain about the problem, and then the board shall or they have to act. And so I was thinking maybe at section 4, where it talks about that,
What page is it on?
on page 4 at the top. At section 4, it gives at least two property owners that are boundary owners the right to complain.
Right.
And if there was something in here that said that the problem had to be within a certain location of the property line. In other words, just because, you know, this farmer may have 200 acres and I'm a property owner, so I've got the right to complain. But I was thinking if you put something in here that would say that the problem that I'm complaining about has got to be within a certain distance of my property, not just that I'm a boundary owner. It would make more sense, because otherwise you're gonna have people using this statute to fight with their neighbor.
But it does require two.
It does require two.
Yes.
But still, if you got two property owners, I mean, it would be an easy fix to me to say that the problem that you're complaining about has got to be within 100 yards of the
road or the.
That's right.
Okay.
Could we do this, try it as written, and if we run into a problem down the road, we can come back to them in?
Floyd, on the top of 4 there, it says within 100 yards of the boundary of the property in question.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, that's my point. It says if you're a property owner, the way it's written, that I can complain. It doesn't say that the problem has to be within a certain distance of the boundary line.
Some person that can complain has to be within.
Well, let me ask you this. That's kind of like what the mayor said. Obviously, we're on new ground. We've never done this before. We don't even know who they're here. We haven't even appointed the board members yet. Would you have I hear that. It's up to y'all to vote, but if you wouldn't mind, we can always amend the resolution after we've started practicing it. I don't know at this point how it's all going to work either, but I'd like kind of, if you don't mind, to give us a shot to try it.
And then the only reason is we've heard from several counties that have adopted this, and it's worked really well for them. And
But it's up to you to amend it. I mean, I hear your question.
I kind of, Steve, I mean, we own I mean, if we bought a farm at the end of a dead-end road, nobody lives on it, it's got an old house on it that somebody's abandoned, you know, I mean, I don't want somebody just, you know, going around trying to pick on you saying, well, I'm gonna make him spend some money on this and improve this property, and it's to know, I mean, it's not to our benefit to do anything with it at that point in time, you know.
Are we better off letting the board know how you feel? I
don't know. I mean, I'm with Steve. I think I can see where we can run into some problems that just nitpicking stuff, you know. Somebody just, you know, come by my place and say, well, he left a cotton trotter out in the field, you know. I mean,
And that's what the role of the hearing board would be to decide what's legitimate and what's airing out of grievances, maybe, between.
Well, the way it's written, Mayor, it says that if the property owner makes the complaint, that the board shall bring an action, the way it's written. So it's not like the board has discretion to say, well, your complaint's no good and overrule them. They've got to give a hearing at that point.
They can give a hearing, but their action can be no action. I mean, they can hear the case and say, you know, we don't find it to be out of compliance.
But the definition says if I've got a combine that's not working in the middle of my field, I'm in violation. So the board doesn't have discretion to say, well, we're not going to enforce it against this person, not against the other.
Can I make a comment, Mr. Ford?
Sure.
If you look at section number 4 of this, if you've got a combine sitting out in the middle of the field, it's got to be 2 adjacent property owners that complain. It can't be somebody driving down the road.
Right.
Look at the legal wording of the number 4 there.
Well, it takes 2 property owners.
It takes 2, it takes.
but I ain't got a piece of property and they ain't 2 property owners somewhere. I mean,
It'd be nice to them.
Or 1.
well, I mean, I try to, but
Don't make them mad.
I'll tell you this,
and I can't afford to own everything joins me.
in 5.5 years of doing this and having to address this issue, I've never had one person call and complain about an abandoned combine, tractor, or anything else. It's mostly garbage. Mostly garbage and undergrowth is the biggest issue we deal with. I've never had one person call about a combine.
Where it can get into, though, if you pass this, is that, it can become that way. One man's junk may be another man's treasure. And you got some government deciding which is which.
And I'm not against, you know, I know that you've got a piece of property next to you that.
You got one in my front yard, it's as bad as anybody in the county.
Yeah, and I know, I understand that. I every time I go by there, I think, God, I wish somebody'd do something about that, you know. But I just don't want it to get into a point where, you know, somebody drives down our road or somebody moves in up from up north somewhere and says, well, I don't like that cotton trotter sitting out in Keith's field, you know. Or passes Steve's father-in-law's place and says, well, they ought to keep that tractor in the shed instead of out there beside the house, you know. That's where I'm, you know, and I understand.
And again, the 2 property owners, part of that would keep passers by, so to speak, from lodging a complaint.
Yeah, but like I say, I've got 2 property owners there on every piece of property I own.
But Mayor, are we saying that, I mean, we're saying by passing this that it's illegal to have a junk combine sitting in the county that won't run, to clean it up? And are we saying that we're just gonna let it pass with some people, not let it pass with others? Is that really?
He's saying that if 2 landowners complain about it, we go and investigate it, and.
It's also saying that it's a violation. I mean, we're defining a violation as having one junk car sitting in the yard, or we're having a combine sitting out in the middle of the field, or having a dilapidated barn in the middle of the field. We're saying that's a violation. And now I think today we're saying, well, we're going to overlook some of those violations because nobody's going to complain about it.
But they'll have the opportunity for hearing if they are cited for it. Then the hearing board can decide whether or not they're in violation.
Yeah, but the definition says that if you've got a combine that's not running, that you are in violation. So that doesn't give the hearing board discretion to say that it's different.
Guys, I just need something. I need something to be able to help these neighbors that are living in squalor because of their neighbors that won't keep their properties up. I need something. I just need something. This has already been implemented in several other counties. It's recommended by CTAS. If it's not working, we can come back and rescind it. or amend it, or do whatever we have to. We can do it today. If anybody wants to amend, by all means, you have the right to amend. But as I said, when I ran for county mayor, I didn't know I was going to clean up people's yards. But since I'm the one doing it, I've got to have a tool to be able to do that with. And this is what we've come up with after 3 years of looking into it. And by all means, amend away if it's the will of this body. But I would strongly recommend that we pass this as it is today, monitor it, look at it. If it's not working, we can come back and amend it, rescind it altogether if we like. At any time we see fit. It'll be up to you guys to decide that. You guys will know whether or not it's working. You'll know as well as
It's pretty
anybody.
much the same one, Mayor, that the state puts out for us to approve, or did y'all come up with this on your own, or is this what surrounding counties have, or what?
The County Technical Services Agency gave this as an example of other counties our size and what they do to address the same issue.
Do we have anything in there saying that the board would have the legal authority to reject a complaint or approve a complaint, or is this gonna be black and white, that they gotta do like?
It was my understanding that the hearing board would be the body for the property owner who's been cited to take their complaint to. All right, we send our code enforcement guy, he cites his property owner. Then they have the right to come to this board and say, here, let me show you what I've got. I don't think I'm in compliance. And the board would say whether they are or not. Floyd, am I right or wrong?
That's right.
Okay.
Looks like that would
To me, it's a pretty good balance. Then if that doesn't work, and you hear from citizens and they're saying, well, man, they're out here running around like the Gestapo, handing out fines and blah blah yada yada, then you guys can come back and say, all right, enough's enough. You know, this isn't working. We made a run at it. We tried, and it's not working. And I'll be the first to admit it doesn't work.
I have an amendment, Mayor, that I'd like to propose, and it's on page 4. It's section 4. It's the second line. It currently says it lies within 100 yards of the boundary of the property. I'd like to strike the words boundary of the property and insert right there location of debris, trash, litter, garbage, or building creating the violation.
Within 100 yards of, and then add local.
Yeah, it'd be within 100 yards of the debris, trash, litter, garbage, or building creating the violation in question.
The only problem that you would have with that, Steve, would be, or Commissioner Gibson, would be if you've got a 50-acre tract and in the dead center of it is that house or that rundown piece of property, whatever you want to call it, there's nobody going to be within 100 yards of that. But I guess that's the point you're making. There's going to be nobody within 100 yards of that.
It wouldn't take a 50-acre tract.
I'm sorry.
So
You could have a 1 acre lot.
Yeah, 1 acre. I mean, I was just using the big
Yeah,
tract.
I understand, but you're narrowing it down very.
But that's-
very-
So if you want to have an illegal landfill on your property, as long as it's 100 yards from somebody, it's okay.
Well, this does not stop, this amendment does not stop the enforcement officer from making the complaint. The enforcement officer can make the complaint, period. This deals with the two property owners. Is what my amendment's intended to do. It doesn't affect the enforcement officer from bringing the petition. It affects the adjoining property owner from bringing the petition.
But correct me if I'm wrong, unless there's two property owners legally affected by it, the code enforcement officer doesn't have the right to make the citation. Isn't that right?
It says, whenever the enforcement officer can visibly observe a violation from a public road. So if the violation can be visibly observed from a public road, then the enforcement officer can bring the complaint the way it's written.
In other words, what you're saying is gonna put it in the hands of the enforcement officer instead of the neighbors saying, well, we're tired of Keith's cotton trotter sitting in the middle of the field.
But that's my intent, is trying to have some
Right.
control over the neighbor getting mad at the farmer for spraying the cotton and killing tomato plants and start bringing complaints against you. And if you don't believe that happens in today's world, just stick around a little while.
We've heard Commissioner Hughes' amendment. Is there a second?
I second it.
Second by Commissioner Steele. All those in favor, vote say aye. Commissioner Carter?
Yes, I have some, property at my father's house, and I've been trying to keep up with the code. But, it's difficult for me to do that, and I've been asked to destroy the house. But I'm retired, and everybody in my family retired. I have all of my windows, doors, and stuff stored in this two-story house. And, each time I pay to get all the brushes and everything cut around the fence, I keep the grass cut. But the kids from school, each time I put the fence up, they walk it down and people go through it and throw beer cans. I'll have to clean them up this summer when I get ready to start mowing. And I bought some barbed wire fence and I was asked not to put it up because if the kids or something got hurt, the property on be destroyed. But every time I put this other fence up, they stepped it down and keep coming through my property. So I don't know what to do, and I hate to destroy
Sounds
my
like you got a
house.
trespass problem.
Well, it don't do any good. They took the sign the last time.
I just looked at before y'all vote on that, I looked at what Commissioner Hughes said. If y'all pass that, that's fine, but it still gives the enforcement officer, Ricky Bailey, the right, as long as he can see it from a public road. So you'll always have that fallback. But again, I don't know that we want him, he wouldn't be doing anything but that, as much property as we've got in the county, but that's up to y'all. It would be a full-time job. That's up to y'all.
Floyd, in your opinion, is this appropriate as is, or is this too broad?
I think it's appropriate as is because I think what Commissioner Hughes is saying is real. Let me say that. I think that's real. And I agree with him, but I believe if we smelled that, and I think that'd be easy to smell, vengeance, and I agree, again, Commissioner Hughes, I'm not belittling your amendment at all. I believe we'd smell that, and I believe Ricky would smell it, and I believe if he did in the hearing panel would smell it, and we don't want to get in that business, but it's still going to require, I'm just speculating, if I'm on the hearing board, just put yourself, if everybody in here is on that board, you're going to look to who? Ricky Bailey. He's disinterested. He's going to be there. The property owner's going to be complaining, but if Ricky looks at it and says, we can't be going everywhere and doing everything. But that's, I've got just 2 cents opinion, just like y'all.
And 90% of the time, these complaints are gonna come through my office, then I'll contact Ricky to make him aware of it, and usually we'll go look at it together. And we have in the past. But I'll know about it anyway. If a complaint comes to Ricky, Ricky's gonna let me know, so I'm going out to look at such property, and usually I'll go with him. We got a motion and a second on Commissioner Hughes' amendment. All those in favor of this amendment, vote by saying aye.
Mayor,
And opposed likewise.
we haven't heard to approve of this,
We're doing an amendment.
Hey, Tom, I think y'all, it was close.
Yeah, I'm gonna voice vote. It was too close for me to tell. I'm gonna voice vote. Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll on this amendment.
Okay, Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Eggers?
No.
Commissioner Cunningham?
No.
Commissioner Sykes?
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire?
No.
Commissioner Carr?
No.
Commissioner Mackin?
Abstain.
Commissioner Tubbs?
No.
Commissioner Cameron?
No.
Commissioner Summers?
No.
Commissioner Lawson?
No.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
No.
Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen?
No.
Commissioner Littleton?
No.
Commissioner Pell?
Yes.
Commissioner Steele?
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin?
No.
Commissioner Chip?
No.
Commissioner Moss?
No.
Motion to amend fails. Thank you. Now, back to the original resolution.
Commissioner Longmire.
I make a motion we accept the resolution as written.
Commissioner Longmire's made a motion to accept the resolution as written. Do I hear a second?
Second, Mayor.
Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, seconded by Commissioner Moss. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed likewise. Motion carries. Thank you. And again, if it doesn't work out, we'll revisit. Be glad to revisit. In fact, it's your duty to revisit if it doesn't work out. We've got 3 late file resolutions. This time I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of these late file resolutions. Motion made by Commissioner Kimmer, seconded by Commissioner Longmire. All those in favor, vote saying aye. And opposed likewise. Late file resolution number 1 is authorizing the submittal of an application to the state's economic development assistance program through the Delta Regional Authority. Is this, Greg, is this Granary?
This is Anderson's Granary, it's part of the paving project.
Access road for paving, that's what this is for. Do I hear a motion on late file number 1?
This is like number 2, it's not the same one that we've been talking about, it's a whole separate.
A whole separate grant for the actual paving. Motion made by Commissioner Yergin, seconded by Commissioner Steele. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Maggie,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelley,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Late file resolution number 2 is a resolution for the Gibson County Highway Department to remove a .31 mile stretch from Laneview Road. There here a motion on late file number 2. Motion made by Commissioner Kimber. There's a second. Second by Commissioner Lawson. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Late file resolution number 3. Did everybody get a copy of it? It's on your desk this morning. Late file resolution number 3 is a resolution to increase expenditures for data processing equipment in the Gibson County Sheriff's Department for the sexual offender registry. Do I hear a motion on late file number 3? Motion made by Commissioner Moss, seconded by Commissioner Steele. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Maggie, Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelley,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Let's take a quick recess before we get into reports. Thank you. Okay. This time I'm going to call on Mr. Andy Zachary to offer a report from the Fair Board, please.
I don't have a lot to report on, but I thought I would update you on what's been going on and what we're starting on. End of January, 11 of us, of our Fair Association members, attended the State Tennessee Association of Fairs Convention in Nashville. It's where the Department of Agriculture gives out their different merit awards and recognizes fairs across the state and things like that. Workshops about the upcoming year. More or less we sat in Nashville and watched it snow. We hit on the weekend that the blizzard did. But we were represented at that event. The flea market is continuing to take place the second weekend of each month. Was just this past weekend, if any of you were in town. So that's keeping the fairgrounds used once a month. Then the Gibson County Coon Hunters group is planning to use the fairgrounds one weekend in June. They're hosting, I don't really know much about it, but I believe it's a world level type event. The way they explained it to us, there would be people from all across the United States. I don't know why it's a world event if it's people from the United States, but would be people from all across the United States coming to Gibson County. Many of them will camp there that weekend and be out in the community, and that's going to take place in June. We're also beginning work on the upcoming fair. We meet the first Monday night of each month. We've set our working budget for the events that we'll be hosting, and beginning to choose a theme and put our book together that we'll be putting out. So we're kind of in the beginning stages of all of that, but the ball has started rolling on all of that. And look to be working with the building committee, hopefully in the very near future, on getting some of those projects started down the road. Robin might have a little more on that, but hopefully we'll have that started and something more to tell you by the next meeting. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacker, for that report. We entertain a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner McEwen. All those in favor vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Ford, do you have a report on Penny Wild Sale?
Yes. Very short. Just have two matters. Number one, Jeff Maitland versus Gibson County Sheriff's Department in Gibson County. In the last week, an agreement has been reached by the lawyers for both sides. That's Mr. Lewis Jenkins from Dyersburg representing Mr. Maitland, and Jim Pentecost of Jackson represents the county. They reached an agreement to stay the activities in the civil lawsuit filed in federal court until the charges in the criminal cases are concluded. So that will save money for both sides, and then of course waive the outcome of the criminal cases. So that's a good thing. And the judge agreed with that in federal court. So that action, stay means nothing will be done. Just kind of hold it where it is. Then the second thing is not a lawsuit, but simply I just wanted to brag whenever I get a chance on the department heads and the people that work in the county. I met last week. We had a department head meeting in which we discussed the things that were shared in common by all the different department heads. It was pretty refreshing to see that. We have a lot of bright people. I want to really salute Tom and Greg for that, and it was just good to see. Everybody seemed to be buying into the common goals that we have: cost sharing, countywide drug policy, testing policy, and then even plans to purchasing and trying to save money. It was really good. So that's not a lawsuit report, but a comment I wanted to make to y'all. I think you'd have been proud if you'd been in the meeting. That's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Flippin. Entertain a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner Stubbs, seconded by Commissioner Longmire. All those in favor vote say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Cameron to offer a report from the Correctional Committee.
Good morning. Good morning. I'd like to report that a committee met last Monday, March the 7th. We had 5 commissioners present, along with Sheriff Thomas, Sherry Smith, Chief Lewis, and Captain Don Despain. A little bit of the statistics for January 2016. They made 9 out-of-county trips for about 1,360 miles. They patrolled 46,600 miles in January. Checked 4,407 businesses. Took 72 inmates to the Trenton court, 58 to the Humboldt court. We don't have the February stats were not available. Now down at the jail, the number of state inmates is running around 110 to 115. The total number of inmates was about 269 last Monday, and of course this fluctuates up and down some. The county received state boarding fees of $163,000 $22 for November 2015, $169,682 for December, and should be receiving $177,260 for this January in the next few days. Other fees turned into the county for January and February were $59,504 in January, $37,453. This includes the commissary, phone cards, booking fees, grants, sales of vehicles, and a few other things. Phone card sales were still up, they're really going good. $10,265 in January, $14,550 in February. Also included in this total was $32,897 insurance recovery and $10,418 insurance recovery for the vandalism that was occurred at the jail before Sheriff Thomas took office. And the county also received $3,315.75 in January, $4,552.75 in February from seized drug money. This brought on a discussion about the drug dogs, and the value of them was discussed, and they had more than paid for themselves. Sheriff Thomas pointed out the drug money that had been seized and turned in each month, plus several catches of drugs have been discovered. I think about 30 drug arrests were made in the last 2 months. Also, the dog tracked down one fugitive, and they have also been used to help other law enforcement agencies across the county. And so they definitely have more than paid for themselves just in the seized drug money in the past few, since we've had them. Now, the need for the body cameras and tasers were discussed, and we've discussed these before in this group. And Sheriff Thomas would like to purchase enough tasers and holsters so that each officer on duty might have one. I think it's hit about 12, maybe a couple more. There would be, if an officer came in and changed shift, he would turn his gun in, the next one going on would take that taser with him when he goes in the thing. At each shift change, they would, in other words, wouldn't have to have one for every officer, but just enough for each officer on duty. And he also stated that I think $25,000 would cover the tasers and also body cameras. And this could come from the insurance received from the vandalism, and it would not be increasing the budget. So we as a committee would like to ask for this to happen. And these items could really save the county a lot of money down the road in lawsuits and everything else, as you see all the time. But anyway, this will be brought up probably at the next commission meeting in the form of a resolution. Sheriff Thomas will be hosting town hall meetings across the county. The first one will be on Monday, April the 4th at 6 p.m. at the First Baptist Church in Dyer. And you're all invited, and we hope you would attend. Commissioner Sykes and Cottom and I felt fortunate to attend the Drug Recovery Court graduation last month, and this was really an eye-opening experience for me. I don't know where any of you attended one of these, but anyway, the 8 graduates had went through a 22-month program that's given them a new start in life. The next graduation will be sometime in June, and I'd really encourage you to try to attend if at all possible, because these people, have been addicted. They've been through a lot. They've, when they started this program, they turned their lives around. They're getting their lives back, and they're becoming good citizens and paying citizens, and have jobs and getting their families back. It would really it was very emotional, and I think you would really see where this helps our county save a lot of money in the long run. We went into the evidence room, and earlier on it was just a lot of stuff thrown in there and just stacked every which way. And Sheriff Thomas hired a part-time employee to, I think he was a retired police officer from Humboldt, and he's got everything straightened up in that evidence room, and everything that can be sold. There's a lot of seized guns and other kind of things like can be sold. They're going to be disposed of those very soon, and should help out a lot there. comp time in his office has been reduced by $72,899 from January 1st of last year to December 31st of last year. As we all know, when Sheriff Thomas took office, it was not under the most pleasant conditions. But he and his staff did step up, went to work, and have done a tremendous job getting the department in tip-top shape. And that's brought us forward. I think we're one of the best departments in West Tennessee, if not the best. And I think there to be commended, he and his staff to be commended on what they've done. And I, for one, really appreciate their good work. Are there any questions? Did I leave out anything wrong?
No, I think you did a great job.
What is the capacity of the jail for prisoners?
They have 3 pods that's not open, and they're not real big. I'm gonna have to refer that to Sheriff Thomas.
I couldn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Capacity of the jail.
Capacity is just over 350 what we can house. Last week we were paying about 270, 275 every day. We're not at capacity.
That's a good thing.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that report. Entertain a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner Tubbs, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Well, at this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Steele to offer a report from the EMS Public Safety Committee.
For the month of January, we had 395 emergency calls and 529 non-emergency calls for a total of 924 calls. For the month of February, we had 366 emergency calls and 486 non-emergency calls for a total of 852 calls at the ambulance service. Our Medic 1 has 124,848 miles. Our Medic 2 has 35,716 miles. And Medic 3, 158,940 miles. Medic 4 is in the shop. And Medic 5 with 126,290 miles. And Medic 5 has 133,159 miles. Medic 6 has 190,735 miles. And Medic 7 is wrecked in total. And we're just got a check today of over $80,000 for the insurance cost. I'm not going to read. We got about 5 more units, and they all over 200,000 units. We have 2 new units ordered, and with 3 new heart monitors. Is that right, Star? That should be coming in on this new grant. For our collections for the month of January, we had $231,373.16. And for the month of February, we had $234,674.43. For a total collection of the year for $1,943,944.32, which puts us at $110,610.96 above our projections. So we're doing very well as far as that, and Star and all of our ambulance drivers are doing a good job. Now for our write-offs. For the month, these write-offs is with contract with Medicare and Medicaid. We bill a certain amount, but they only pay a certain amount. So the Medicare contract write-offs was $107,501.58. The Medicaid write-offs for the month was $90,000, $47.39. And the others, which would be private care and people who couldn't pay, and write-offs that we just nursing homes and veteran VA and all that, was $251,645.17. And the total write-offs for the month was $449,194.14. So, I mean, the reason I give this to you so you can see that even though we'd be making a lot of money if we could collect all the money that we bill, but it just isn't that way. And so that's all I have for this. Any questions?
Any questions for Commissioner Steele? Thank you, sir, for that report. Entertain a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner Tubbs, seconded by Commissioner Summers. All those in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. This time I'd like to call Mr. Robert Locker to offer the fourth mayor for board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For January, hangar rent was $6,525. Our aid gas sales were 1,044 gallons for 3,709. So 73.52 gallons of jet fuel for 279 for a total of 10,545. February, hangar rent was $12.95. Aid gas sales were 605 gallons for $2,148. Jet aid, 65 gallons for $627 for a total of $4,113. Of course, February was nothing but rain, so it kind of cut into our activity at the airport for the month of February. I do have a little good news on our beacon project. The state keeps giving us a delay on it, but we have worked with them and with some of the other airports in Tennessee, and John Toon Airport, which is part of the Nashville airport system, is replacing the beacon that they have, and they are going to donate their beacon to us. So we will get their beacon in August. About August is when they're projecting they will have that down, and we will take that beacon and replace it for ours that does not work, because you cannot get parts for these things. And their beacon is working. They are replacing it retroactively before it goes down to put up a different kind, because they need a little better one in the location they're in. And that beacon is still in good order, and it works fine. So we're going to use it since it's donated. That's all I have on my report. Is there any questions? Thank you.
We'll be damn glad to get that beacon.
Especially for free.
Yeah. Thank you for the report. Motion approved. Mr. Lockett's report. Motion made by Commissioner Miles, second by Commissioner Longmire. All those in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Summers to offer a report from Fire Rescue and Emergency Management Committee.
Good late morning. We did not meet in the last month. I do have a report. You have copies on your desk. Before I get into Brian's, I'd like Director Graves maybe give you a little report on what went on in the county this weekend with floodwaters. I know their department was mighty busy. Ricky, if you would.
Well, we had 0.89 inches of rain, depends on where you're at. We had considerable flooding. It's worse in Kenton and Trenton than most other places in the county. Did have some levee problems, but that's some situations that we're going to try to be working out with the Corps of Engineers. But water's going down, Fort Cadir's gone down pretty rapidly. Still having little problems along the old line out from Kenton. But luckily nobody got injured. We've got a few houses that water did get into. Several that got close to, the folks evacuated anyway. But everything's starting to return back to normal. I want to thank the County Fire Department for all their help, Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Thomas was with us till after midnight in Kenton Saturday night, and we came out as good as we could considering everything that happened. Pretty well it.
Thank you, Ricky. We appreciate y'all's work. As far as the fire department is concerned, in January they had 108 calls, they had 39 fire and rescue calls, 61 medical responder calls, and 23 training meetings. They still had 8 medical responder calls that no one responded to in January. And the firefighters donated 3,218 hours in that month. And in February, we had 99 calls, 30 fire and rescue calls, 60 medical responders, and 21 training meetings. Again, we had 9 medical responder calls that no one responded to. The firefighters donated over 1,123 hours in the month of February. So for the first 2 months of the year, they donated over 4,341 hours. All of our, we talked about earlier, brought up full-time firefighters are in place. 5 of those are medical first responders. The other 3 are in training to become first responders. Is that right, Chief?
Yes, sir.
One good thing to report about the full-time firefighters, I don't think we're having any medical responder calls that are not being answered during the daytime now, which is a good thing. We had 9 and 8 had 17 for the first 2 months of the year, and those were at night. So it's helping us out a lot in the daytime. Again, we don't know what'll happen at the end of that grant for those firefighters, but they are doing a good job, and they are all in place. Another thing, Brian, when we mentioned, they spent, in January, they were asked to send manpower to help looking for the 2-year-old that was missing in Madison County, and our firefighters provided 12-hour shifts around the clock for volunteers helping during that search. I'm sure the full-time firefighters probably were part of that, and Brian also asked me to mention thank you, give a big shout out of thank you for the local fire departments, especially the city of Trenton and Chief Elam and Assistant Chief Anglin, for the coverage that they provided for the Gibson County Fire Department while they were in Madison County participating in the rescue efforts. So we thank all of them for that. Another mention he'd like to make is the free fire alarms, smoke alarms. I think they installed 50 in the month of January, and what is it, Brian? I'm missing that. 75 in February. So we do, if you know of anyone that needs smoke alarms, they are provided free, and our firefighters will install them for you free. So no need anybody having a fire in a house if there's not a smoke alarm there. So if you know about it, let them know. That's all I've got for them. I thought I might mention while I was up here.
You want to cover the building committee?
Yes.
Please do so.
The building committee, we are 2 things. Number one, we're working with Andy and the fair board, trying to put some figures together on what they want to do as far as new construction at the fairgrounds. We have some money that we were originally going to try to build a new pavilion, but the need for the cattle barn, and you correct me if I'm wrong, has become more necessary than that building had. So the state comptroller's office is allowing us to use that money for that, even though what it wasn't initially for, to try to replace that building. And I think we're pretty close to getting some figures, and y'all met last week, so we'll try to get together in the next week, and by the next meeting, hopefully we'll have something in place, let you know what's going on, and can have it done before the fair starts in August, because that'll be here before we know it. As far as the other projects for the building committee, obviously we've been courthouse. We are still making good progress, even through the rains that we've had. It's kind of slowed us down a little bit in the last month. We are within maybe a day or 2, I believe, Mayor, of opening the west entrance, and we've already started on the foundation work on the south side. So when we get that west entrance open, we can close down the south entrance, and we probably like halfway across the south end of the courthouse, and we'll be through with that part of it. That's the most major part of the work, and it is working. Our basement's not filling up with water anymore. So I think if that was going to happen, it would have happened in the last week. So part of the new windows are installed, probably about half of those. All the heating and cooling is done now. The electrical is done in the basement, and it's really starting to come around. I think we're on schedule, and hopefully get completed while we have good weather. Is there anything y'all want to add to that, Tom, you or Greg?
Other than thank you to the county commission for letting us do that work. It looks great, and like Robert said, we're already seeing some big improvements in terms of the water leakage, and even the roof is already in better shape. The storm, the gutter work that they've done so far, as Gary already left, Gary commented last week that he didn't have the shower head in his office that he normally has. So it's I think everything we're doing is working. So I hope we continue in that direction. And thank y'all.
And that's all my report. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Robert, how the full-time chief, the full-time fireman, how do you place them in the county? I've been asked by a couple of people.
I've been mostly keeping them as 2-man crews, spacing them out at different fire departments.
Okay.
According to what the daily requirement is that I need them to do. Sometimes I'll do a 3 and 3 and 2 at another department.
Okay.
But I'm always keeping at least 1 medical responder at Station 9, which is in Rutherford, and 1 medical responder at North Chapel, because those are our 2 busiest medical stations during the daytime.
Okay, thank you.
Brian mentioned why you stand up to kind of where we are with our man on our equipment. We're getting pretty close to getting the bids out, is that right?
Yes,
For
sir.
these
Tanker
fire
grant,
trucks?
we should be getting really close to getting the bids ready to go. I haven't been able to touch base with Rob the last 2 weeks. I've been very, very busy. And but last I heard, we were on target and everything was looking good.
Still working on it. Anything else?
Thank you, Commissioners, for that report. Entertain a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner Tubbs, second by Commissioner Lawson. All those in favor, vote say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Commissioner Lawson, you have a report for the tourism committee.
Very briefly, and thank you for whoever provided what turns out to be our lunch today. Thank you. Our committee's pretty fluid. We haven't met as consistently as some of the other committees, but we have the opportunity to get our county on a National Geographic tour that they are putting together and publicizing based around the Mississippi River. And that should reach a lot of people that we don't even know that we don't know. And Libby is working on some grant opportunities that have come to us. So we're looking at more ways to bring in more sales tax money to our county. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve her report. Motion made by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Steele. All those in favor, vote say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Director Pillay, you have a report on comp time?
Real quick, I'm gonna try to be as quick as Ms. Sankey. On comp time, in your packet, you received a report that was updated through the 31st of December. And as you'll note, that our comp time since January of 15 to December of 15 has went down the liabilities went down $78,000. A second thing that I will point out that I laid on your table this morning, and even though the heading up here says January 16, it is February. These are actual numbers through February. That's my error in Excel when I labeled this. But you have by department how much we've spent, what the budget is for that department, and where we're at percentage-wise realized today. Now, we're through February, we're 66.67% through the year. If you'll go down to the very bottom, I have total for revenues. And you'll notice, if you can read that in that green shade, that we are 71% of revenues for the year. But keep in mind that we peaked in February on revenues. It's all downhill from here till June, through June. So even though we're above our 67% on revenue collections, we're at 71, but the next few months will be light months for collections. So, and then hopefully we'll be at 100% come June 30th. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Pillay. We have a question.
Director Pillay, you're gonna announce the budget hearing so everybody's aware of it.
Yes, it's the 18th, 19th, and 21st. It's 6 o'clock of April. April the 18th, 19th, and the 21st. I meant to bring that schedule with me to hand out. I'm going to email it or mail it to all the commissioners. And then we'll have that following Monday, which is the 25th, for a revenue. But there will be a schedule put out to all the commissioners as to which departments will be scheduled for which night of that Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
We're gonna have it in here or in the conference room where we had it last year.
Tom, it's one night it may be in here and one night it may be in there. We're just having to play it by ear with the schedule of what's going on out there.
What was the time again?
It'll start at 6 o'clock. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Longmire. I forgot to bring that. I meant to bring the pass out on that with me and I forgot it.
Thank you, sir. Hear a motion to approve this report. Motion made by Commissioner McEwen, second by Commissioner Tubbs. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. The elections we can do in mass. This is the board for the resolution number 8 that we passed earlier. Number 8, yes. This is the board that we spoke of, the hearing board. We appreciate, Marvin, you serving on that board. I hear a motion on this election. Motion made by Commissioner Steele, second by Commissioner Kimberly. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Thank you. I appreciate everybody serving on your boards. Any further motions? Yes, Commissioner Yergin.
I know most of you live in Gibson County Special School District, you're aware of the 40-cent tax increase that is proposed by the school board. And I was hoping Curtis, Representative Hoffer would be here today, but I don't know whether it's possible or not. But if there's any way that he could stagger that where it'd be like a third, or maybe half of it this next year and half the next year, to relieve taxpayers of such a burden of 40 cents in 1 year. And I'd like for us to go on record as asking him if I'm not opposed to the school board and what they do, and I do think 40 cents maybe is a little much at one time, but I'd just like for us to go on record as asking him if he could stagger that to where it'd be at least half 1 year and half the next year, because they can't use all that money in 1 year anyway. They can't even, I know it's not going to be, they're not going to have project finished in 1 year. And if we could, I'd make a motion that we asked him, everybody, to look if he can stagger that tax increase at least at 50-50, or a third this year and a third next year and a third the next year, instead of all of it coming at one time.
You hear a motion on the floor, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Motion second made by Walker. Trustee Davis, I believe you had your hand.
Yeah, I was just gonna let you know, I talked to, one of the, Gibson County Special School District, and I have asked that question. It has been done in the past. Now, he has checked in with Mr. Hoffer. My understanding is it cannot be staggered due to statute right now. Curtis said, yeah, I would recommend that he come and ask why, but it would make it easier on us, but just to let you know, I have already checked into it, so.
I think I know what, Corey, I think I know what Damon's talking about. The tax increase to do that, what, 40 cents? You can't levy half of a tax. So he could, I think, do 20 cents and 20 cents, but I mean, I think that's the problem. Is that right, Dana?
Yes.
You can't say, I'm gonna put a 40-cent tax, I vote for a 40-cent tax increase. Half, it's got to be 40 or nothing. So it could be 20-20, but it can't be 40 divided by 2, if that may sound stupid. Well, I know but that's been voted that way. I hear your heart, and obviously somebody seconded it. I don't know what the vote's gonna be, but that's why you can't do it.
Well, would it be possible, he has the final say in this, Representative Hoffer does, and the senator, they actually have the final say as far as, if they don't approve it, it won't be passed. Could he come back to the board and ask them that they put that in two 20-cent increments?
Your motion is asking Representative Hoffer and Senator Stevens to recommend to the board that they come back with 20 cents this year and 20 cents
next year.
Yeah.
If it can't be done any other way, I wasn't aware that they could, but I do know Representative Hoffer and them, and they do have the final say, because it's got to be approved of them. If they don't approve it, it won't be done.
State legislature.
Any further discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, vote say aye.
Why don't you, just to make that clear, why don't you withdraw your motion second and then make the motion to do it to 2020?
2020, yes, that'd be fine.
Commissioner Yergins made a motion that Representative Hoffer and Senator Stevens recommend to the Gibson County Special School District a tax increase of 20 cents this year and 20 cents the following year. Funds are building up the new school if feasible. Motion been made, there's a second by Commissioner Steele. All those in favor vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Thank you. Any further motions? I've got a list of, you had a list of notaries in the package. I have an addition, several additions to that list. I have Deborah Browning of Milan, Tennessee, Crystal Baxter of Humboldt, Lisa Stockard of Milan, W. Collins Bonds, Milan, Kim Goodwin Atwood, works in Milan, Patsy R. Gunn, Humboldt, Julie Carter, Milan, Vanessa D. Orr, Dyer, Brenda Trussler, Humboldt, Patricia E. George, Dyer, Charles Avery, Milan, Cheryl Williford, Trenton, Gail W. Farrell, Humboldt, Alice Cliff, Humboldt, Sheila M. Lewis, Trenton, David Nelson, Atwood, works in Milan, Camellia Langston, Rutherford, Barbara Bunch, Humboldt, Takesha Wright, Milan, May Beth Reed, Dyer, Tennessee. Do I hear a motion on this list of notaries? Motion made by Commissioner Kimmerer, seconded by Commissioner Steele. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Abstain.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
I'd just like to ask one question. Is this just for the, this is not for the bondsman, is that right?
The bondsman part is just stating who their bond will be written under, yeah.
What, it's probably too late. I was just gonna ask, Attorney Clifton, what is the duties of a bondsman? And, what does it take to disqualify you as a bondsman?
I think it's a $5,000 bond is what they're standing in good for if the person doesn't faithfully perform their duties. That's about all I know. I have to look that up.
What would disqualify you as a bondsman?
Is it 10? Okay, I thought it's down 10, all right.
I mean, convicted of a crime or arrested or anything of that nature?
I mean, there's a state application process for that in it.
I don't know the answer to that.
I've been through it once with one of my staff members. I mean, I served as bondsman for one of my staff members, and I just had to file an application with the state of Tennessee, and they kind of run your social security number, I think.
So we really don't know what would disqualify you
I
to
don't.
be a bondsman?
I really don't.
Basically, you're signing a piece of paper stating that you're willing to pay $10,000
Yeah.
if that person screws up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much in a nutshell what it is.
Just wondering if you could be a convicted criminal, you could be a convicted criminal, of a misdemeanor or whatever, and still be a bondsman.
I'm sure you can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Think so?
Mhm.
Okay.
Steve abstained. He didn't vote.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
And it was my time to vote, so,
What was your vote?
no.
No, okay.
okay, Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackey, Commissioner Tubbs,
Abstain.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke, Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelley,
Yes.
6 yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yerga,
Yes.
Commissioner Chilton,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Yeah, I've got one thing here, a proclamation I'd like to read on behalf of Gibson County Lady Pioneers. Proclamation reads, whereas the 2015-16 Gibson County Lady Pioneers have had an extraordinary season, compiling an impressive record of 37-1, and whereas the 2015-16 Gibson County Lady Pioneers have displayed tremendous heart and sportsmanship while representing Gibson County in the TSSAA State Tournament in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, be it therefore recognized on this 14th day of March in the year of our Lord 2016 that the 2015-16 Gibson County Lady Pioneers, their coaching staff, cheerleaders, and fans have fought the good fight, made Gibson County very proud, and truly are recognized as Gibson County treasure. So if you see one of those girls or cheerleaders or coaches, give them a pat on the back and congratulate them and tell them they made us proud. Thank you. Any further public comment?
Now, was you gonna appoint that director for the solid waste board?
Wasn't on the agenda. Was it on the agenda?
No, I just gave you that list earlier.
Oh. Well, we'll do it next time. Motion adjourned.